Hello and welcome to Tête-à-tête with Tiwa. I'm Tineke.
And I'm Wale.
And today's question is, describe how you and your spouse arrive at decisions. Wale?
How do we arrive at decisions? Well, I guess it's a good question because maybe we'll learn something.
It's a very interesting question, actually, because I don't know that there is a set way we arrive at decisions. However, I guess from my point of view, I know that there's well, you already know about my prayer thing. So if I disagree with him, which we spoke about this on another episode, if I disagree with him, I then go and speak to God, and I basically ask God to either tell me that he's right or tell him that he's wrong. And so that's how I deal with that thing. But if it's something that it doesn't get to a disagreement point of view, I don't know. I guess you would. How do we do it?
We talk. I think we talk.
So let's think of a practical example. What decision have we come to recently, and how did we get to it?
Let's see. Okay, let's say Mo going to school.
Okay.
When we spoke about Mo going to school.
I mean, going to a different school.
Go to a different school.
Yeah.
And I was first concerned about the distance, wasn't I?
Yes.
And you were not so concerned about the distance.
Not greatly. I mean, it was a concern.
It was a concern, yes. But not
as
much as a concern was for me. But yeah, we speak about things.
I think
that's what we do.
Using that example, I think what happened was I tabled before you the pros and the cons. So I think maybe in that case it was what she wanted, and I was kind of backing her, but I needed to discuss with Wale so that we would decide. So I came, and it's funny because I'd done that with her. I was like, okay, what are the pros? What are the cons? Let's look at this. Why do you think this will be a better school, etc., etc.? So with those same pros and cons, and maybe a few added ones, I came to him and I said, okay, this is what she wants. These are the pros. Do you know what? I think that's what I do. Certainly with me, I do the pros and the cons, but I know where I got it from.
Okay. I guess for me, it was just we discuss, we talk about it, which is I'm into let's talk about it and let's see who has a superior argument.
Yeah, but I guess that's still like pros and cons, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's the same sort of thing. So it's almost like, but then okay, does the superior argument always win?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. There's sometimes that I will concede, even though I have a superior argument.
All the time.
I'm messing about. I'm sure there are times that either of us will concede just for the sake of, okay, let's see how your decision goes. Let's try yours.
I guess it also depends on whether it's a life-changing decision or not. You know, if it's life-changing, because then that's kind of different. But for just day-to-day decisions, I think to a certain extent, there's certain decisions that we make by ourselves. I don't expect Wale to be telling me what I'm going to cook. I don't expect to tell him what he's going to cook. There's certain things that we just make the decisions ourselves at the time and nobody questions it. So there's certain decisions that we will make by ourselves without consulting the other one, and that's fine. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, day to day, you always do that. Well, one imagines that. Otherwise,
so maybe this question is referring to like major decisions.
Yeah.
It doesn't specify, but maybe it's referring to major decisions. So I think for major decisions, certainly, for me, for any decision, I'm going to look at the pros and the cons. So if I'm then bringing it to Wale to have a discussion, I will come with the pros and the cons. And I guess when Wale says we have a discussion, that is kind of what we discuss, the pros and the cons.
Yeah.
And then there's something has to be said about intuition, feeling. So yes, we have the pros and the cons, but there are times when I'll be like, I just don't feel it. And Wale has learned that when I don't feel it, it's best to go with me because Yeah.
Yeah, that's from experience because I've gone off the road a few times.
I think that's also a
Without,
female thing. They talk about female intuition
yeah,
being very
yeah,
strong.
yeah,
So yeah, so we would probably do it like that. I
yeah.
can't think what else we would. I mean, if we, yeah, I mean, if it was like a huge, like if now we were going to buy a house, for example, we would probably involve the kids in that process after we have streamlined down to maybe 3 or 4. Then we would, because it's like a family decision. That we need to know that everybody, not that we have any.
I was going to say it's not because they have the. To be frank, it's just including them.
Yeah, carrying them along,
Carrying
making
them
them
along,
feel like a part of it,
yeah,
so that
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not just.
yeah.
But I actually feel like I know you say it's not because they have a thing, but I feel like they should be.
When they buy their own, they can feel like that. No, I'm messing about. It's just that we will, because we'll be talking about dynamics and plans within the house, rooms, who would like what and who would get what and all that thing. So we would include them.
So I guess I mean I want to be sure we've answered the question. I guess for us, it's a discussion. It's not cut and dried. It's not I said so. It's not In the end, from a Christian point of view, if Wale puts his foot down on something, I will submit to his decision. And like I said, I'll go and be begging God and talking to God elsewhere. But from a practical point of view, I will submit to his decision and let him go ahead with it if we have some issue where we just can't agree. But generally, we would discuss and we would,
How often do we?
not that often now. I mean, in the beginning, it was all the time. Now,
I mean, of course, you were younger. I mean, what? Sorry.
I mean, no. Now, to be fair, now it's not that
you were a lot
often.
younger.
That's
That was different. But yeah, I don't. It's not that often that we will come to we don't agree.
yeah, because I think now you listen to me.
I do, which I've always done. Perhaps you just didn't understand it then.
Anyway, so now he listens to me, and now we don't disagree so much. So there's a hint for you. Listen to your wife.
Wow.
And no, so we don't really. It's not a big deal, and that's why it's so funny because at the beginning that's why we're like, what do we do? Because we don't really. It's not an issue that we're thinking. How do we arrive at decisions?
Yeah.
I guess it's the same way I would arrive at any decision. I think I would look at the pros, look at the cons, and have a discussion with someone I trust, and then come up with some things, and obviously pray about it and stuff. But nothing, no magic formula like that. Just
that's how we do.
That's how we do. So yeah, until the next time.
Ciao.
Ciao.